Hi, I'm Pete Levy, one of the producers on Doctor WHO Flux, and welcome to the amazing Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend.
Howdy, fellow Whovians. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. Welcome back to another exciting and wonderful episode on your Tuesday night here. It feels like just being at the convention, only slightly better and without the admission price and all the, people not washing during a convention there. I'm modeling on out here. Tonight, we're going to be hosting our special guest producer and visual effects producer, Pete Levy. If you not familiar with the name, you will definitely be familiar with his work, as he has done the special effects for Jodie Whittaker as well as producing. And we're going to discuss about COVID producing during Jodie's time as the Doctor. But let me go ahead and introduce our panel today. Stand by, please, while I get everybody. Speaking of getting everybody, I told you, bad segue. Here we go, folks. We're going to start off with the lovely Mackenzie Floor. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How about you?
All right. This week, your camera's working just fine. You sonicked it, didn't you?
Did. I sonicked it.
Awesome down there. Tell us a little bit about not the Right of Wands. Why? I'm the Binge Watcher's Guide. Just for people who are not familiar with your writing.
Oh, you're talking about this.
Yes, I am, and some of you are going to see the commercial later on today. Tell us just a little hint about the Binge Watcher's Guide.
So the Binge Watcher Guide is, you can kind of look at it, it's both having information about the show before Jodie became the Doctor. One of the reasons why she got chosen to be the Doctor. Mm-hmm. What I thought of her first series, of Series 11, there's also behind the scenes stuff that people may have not known about, including also some interviews. And I'm currently working on the extended version of it, where I'm going to do a book of Series 12 and 11. And I'm hoping to get it out before Chris Eccleston goes to Motor City, because that's where I'm going to be going in May.
The reason why I asked you this question, because somebody asked me, what is that book about? And I just could not answer. I said, I haven't read it yet.
It's one of those things where I get all the time, people don't understand what it is. They think it's an actual novel about Jodie, which BBC Books, hey! I would love to know the actual say, yeah, I do have one of those, but
I want to
one of those behind the scenes.
No, don't worry. And I want to personally thank Mackenzie, because she brought in our special guest tonight. So definitely want to give kudos to Mackenzie tonight. But we're going to go through our panel, and the next up for bids is the lovely Melina. How you doing? All the way from Puerto Rico. How you doing?
I'm very excited to be here. How are you, Christian?
Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, I'm speaking for Melina right now. For those of you who are going out into the world of people who work in the tourist industry, whether you're going to a theme park, you're going to an amusement park, you're going down to Puerto Rico, please be nice to these folks. They are incredibly, yes, please.
I always be nice to you, though.
They're trying to get off the ground. They're trying to get things established. Yeah. Just, I mean, wherever you go, especially, I've been very, I understand the understaffing, especially right here in Florida. There's, you look at that row of like Walmart cashier registers, and there's 30 of them, but only 3 are running. So I'm just like, there's reason there's only 3 of them. So just be kind and sweet to the folks who are in the tourist industry. And we want to welcome Melina back out there. Speaking of welcoming back, none other, and he's doing like a world trip these days. This is the lovely Dave Chapman. I am just jealous.
Very lovely, especially.
I know. You're at the World Tea Expo. Tell us a little bit about where you are tonight there, sir.
So yeah, at a world tour as in just Nevada for a month. So today I am live from the World Tea Expo, which is joint with the Restaurant and Bar Expo. So it's hundreds of vendors, thousands of attendees. I'm sitting in the tea bar, getting a little samples of tea. And as with the rest of this month, Steeped Games brought me down. We're showing off that game. They won actually a Innovation in Tea Award for the game last year. So that's kind of how we ended up here. I haven't even gotten to walk around yet because it's all just been go. Everyone's looking at the game.
So how many other conventions are you going? Just in case somebody wants to come out and visit you, where else are you going to be coming up there live?
This is my last one right down here. Next one for me is going to be the Calgary Comics and Entertainment Expo in April, back in Calgary, Alberta. I'm not sure if I have anything after until, what's that convention called in Orlando? It's a little thing called MegaCon.
Yeah.
Where I get to see, all the rest of you. From there, I go to the UK Games Expo in Birmingham, and then Origins Game Fair in Columbus. So that's kind of my end of May, beginning of June.
Now, tonight, Dave's going to be taking care of your chats. Unfortunately, Melanie felt a little under the weather, so we hope she makes a speedy recovery. But she wanted to let everybody know she sends her love, and she'll be back, hopefully, for next week. Happy birthday to our friend Tom Kozak, our hashtag mentor out there. Yes, happy birthday to him. He turns a blissful I have no idea, but we want to wish him a happy birthday out there. Oops, I just hit the like button. Almost forgot like the 800 friends on my Facebook page. And Dave's going to be taking care of the chats tonight, even fellow Whovians. There, Andrew. And I'm just clicking on one because I'm happy to see our Twitch channel getting some hits out there. So we want to welcome Crandalma. I hope I pronounced that right, Crandalma. And don't forget, help us get to 2,000. The goal is to hit 2,000 YouTube subscribers. You can see the chat running below, youtube.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Don't forget that little tag between the two. Help us get up to 2,000. We are coming close. I think we're up to 1850. And it would be just such a great day for our 10th anniversary that we get to 2,000. And not only that, but let me go ahead and bring our special guest in because I'm going to flaunt a little. There's Pete. How you doing there, Pete? We are actually climbing up, Pete, to 60,000 Facebook followers.
Wow.
And we're hoping we hit that number by May 19th. May 19th is our 10th anniversary of the Traveling TARDIS, which, for whatever reason, he's not here right now. So, but he will be with us in spirit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our special guest tonight, Pete Levy. And for just folks who may not be familiar with your work, Pete, tell everybody about yourself and let them know what you've done.
Thanks, Christian. Thank you for the invitation. It's lovely to meet everyone, some nearly face-to-face. Long last. So I was one of the producers on Doctor WHO Flux, episodes 3, 5, and 6. I was the VFX producer on series 11 and 12. So I think there's 23 episodes all in all. And before that, Black Mirror. We were working on Metalhead, yes. Thanks, Christian. It's a little
no. And for those of you who don't remember the titles of the chapters of the Flux, 3 was Once Upon Time, Chapter 5 was Survivors of the Flux, and Chapter 6 The Vanquishers, which would be the last episode of the Flux series out there. So, sorry, I just wanted to make sure people have been like, well, what are you talking about? So, thank you for joining us tonight, Pete, there. And
my pleasure.
Gotcha. Let me go ahead and bring you up to speed out here, folks. Don't forget live chat. If you have any questions for Pete, by all means. Also, I want to introduce Pete because Pete is not only familiar with the Flux, he has been visual effects producer for, I would say, at least 21 episodes. That includes Revolution of the Daleks, The Timeless Children, Ascension of the Cybermen, The Haunting of Villa Diodati, one of my favorite top 10 episodes of Jodie's run out there.
Good choice.
That was a good episode.
There's an episode called Can You Hear Me? I think of that song right there. Tom Cossack, he says, hey, wait a minute. We'll make it happen, Tom. I got one, of course. I need an autographed copy of a sequel. Because, okay. He's doing business. What?
Yeah, well, it's one of those. Everybody's kind of been on me. They're like, "Well, you got to get it done. You got to get it." I was like, "I'm like, it's okay, guys. I have a really big book coming because Andrew Cartman himself actually wants me to take his theory and say, how did Chris Chibnall take Timeless Children and build it together and make it so that his theory actually works? And yes, I can prove it."
Okay. Challenge accepted down there. So let me go ahead and bring up to speed to everybody. Everybody's giving me happy birthday to Tom. Tom, if you Pete, if you don't know about Tom, yeah, he is our hashtag guru for the Traveling TARDIS. Everything that, if we make a mistake or we goof up or we say something a little bit off, he makes it into a hashtag for all of us to remind us. China and Plate Mate. Oh, okay. Hello there to Christopher Chatfield. What games do you play? Actually, Mackenzie is the expert on all gaming out here. But we'll ask Pete if he plays games. I don't even know if you have time to play games because you're doing all the work out there. But Pete, I guess the question is, let me start it off by saying, how did you get to become part of the WHOniverse? Well, let me put it like this. Are you a Whovian? Were you a Whovian before you started working on the show, or were you did it come across through osmosis eventually?
A bit of both, actually, Christian. I mean, I've always classic Who, and then class Wizards versus Aliens. That whole mix of shows. I've always been a big fan of those. But I was working for a visual effects company here in Bristol in the UK, and we pitched to Russell to do the visual effects work for his first series of Doctor Who. Our company at the time didn't get the contract, but I'm happy to say it's one of the best presentations I've ever had to do, because Russell's such a lovely guy and was so enthusiastic, and Phil Collinson, who was his producer and is his producer, they were just lovely to meet and to talk to, and just share all things sci-fi and television and Who. So that was my real introduction to the later episodes of Doctor Who. And who couldn't, from the Autons. They had us from the Autons.
That's true. And who's your doctor? Let's just say, who's your doctor out there?
Jodie. I can't say anything.
Jodie, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that I don't get a lot, but I know she's still new.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
He's
Ain't that true?
Jodie, can you do another season? Just one more. Let's keep it going out there. Got some questions going on out there. First of all, let me kick this in there, Dave. Tom just says, Pete Levy just wished me a happy birthday. So yay, hashtag yay for you there out there. Happy birthday there, Tom. And to many more coming out there. There's just a lot going into the chat. Most of it bantering.
I see a lot of roasting going on in here.
No doctors yet, though. We still don't have the doctors bantering.
Gotcha. I'm Dave. I'm just going to pull up this question. I know it's at the end, but Mark Robinson asked, Pete, are you responsible blame for the VFX blooper on the Daleks, e.g., Daleks head movement, or was it someone else? That's weird.
I'm not sure I saw that one. We do. No, maybe later. No, that's. Mark, thank you for the question. I'm not sure I've seen that one, or whether that was the one that we were involved with. With DNEG, who's the VFX company I work with, I was so blessed to work with such an array of amazing talent. I mean, and I have to say, it's not a cliche, and it's not an empty boast, but some of the most talented visual effects supervisors and artists in the world who have amongst their credits Baby Driver, all the Marvel movies, Batman's, Harry Potter's, anything, Superman, the Cornetto trilogies, anything that's had that sort of level of Dune, at that level of James Bond, that level of visual effects. I was lucky enough to work with those artists, and we had them working on Doctor Who. I've just seen Andrew's. Sorry, Chris. I've just seen Andrew saved me and plucked me out of the fire there. So apart from Jodie, great question. Then it's a close run thing between Matt and DT, but I would have to go possibly David Tennant.
What if you went classic? Who is your doctor there?
Oh, classic. It's got to be the big guy, hasn't it? It's got to be Tom Baker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like you now.
Totally reasonable.
I knew I was breaking through there, Christian. I knew you were thawing.
Never forget your first. That's just me. Speaking of forgetting your first, I love my segues. We are going to go to commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue our discussion with Pete Levy from Doctor WHO Flux and pretty much all of Jodie's run. And we'll go be asking his discussions about his time on Doctor Who and anything that's coming up. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. Here we go.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Flaw, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
Hi, my name is Jamie Ingle, critically acclaimed author of The Toilet Papers, Places to Go While You Go, a short story collection suited to match your bathroom needs. Only have to go a little? No problem. I've got stories under 1,000 words for you. Far from poopin'? I've got you covered. With stories over 5,000 words to keep you occupied, while your latrine stays occupied. And that's not all. The Toilet Papers is endorsed by the fine folks from Squatty Potty, the stool for better stools. But don't take my word for it. See what Dookie the Squatty Potty Unicorn has to say on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Well, I've got to go, but you can grab your copy of The Toilet Papers on Amazon in ebook or print, or get an autographed copy from me at therightangle.com. And don't worry, I promise I'll wash my hands first. The Toilet Papers. You might just stay in the bathroom longer than you need to.
It's when she says, "I'll wash my hands first," and I completely lose it. You don't understand, Pete. When Jamie first introduced me and said she wanted to become a sponsor, and then she goes, "Here's the commercial." It took me at least an hour to get through. Stop laughing at the commercial. Even when it went live, I was just like, "Oh my goodness." Well, folks, thank you for joining us, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Speaking of which, if you're watching us from our friends over. Oh, hi. If you're watching us from anywhere on the Facebook page or YouTube channel, thank our friends over on Twitch, as our friend is. Thank our friends over at Region 2, Nita and Daphne. Check them out on their YouTube channel.
Hi, everyone. Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Region 2 The Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Region 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
And thank you for joining us. And for those of you just joining us, welcome to Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. We are having an interview with our friend Pete Levy from Doctor Who, especially around the Jodie series and Doctor Who Flux. Thank you for joining us tonight there, Pete. I found them.
Very good.
I'll explain later when we go into our segment after the show out there. I swear to you, Mackenzie, I thought you were wearing a bucket on your head. I couldn't make it. The lighting is kind of weird, so I thought you had an orange bucket on your head there. I'm sorry there. You know what, Mackenzie, do you have a question for our good friend Pete tonight?
Well, of course. It wouldn't be right otherwise. So I want to really know, how did you go from being the visual producer, the difference between what you had to do being a visual effects producer versus being a producer for Flux? I'm sure it was very different, but for our audience, I'd love to know a little more specifics.
Thanks, Mackenzie. That's a great question. The only similarity between a visual effects producer and a TV producer is the word producer. That's all it is. It's just in the title. Visual effects producer, it's more about the keeping up to schedule, keeping on budgets, working with Chris and the team. The creative lead on a big visual effects movie is the visual effects supervisor. Sheila Wickens, Mike Bell were the two that I had the pleasure of working with on series 11 and 12. I suppose I've been a visual effects producer for a significant number of years, and I knew that I wanted to move across and become a TV producer. And the time was right for me, because what better way to dip my toe in the water on a show that I loved, that I knew the crew, I knew the cast, I knew the setup, I knew the studios, I knew as much as I could possibly know about Doctor Who. So it made sense. And I have to say, hats off to Chris, belated happy birthday, Chibnall, the marvelous Nikki Wilson, and the ever young Matt Strevens, who gave me that opportunity and gave lots of us our opportunities. And one thing, actually, just to quickly say, the Doctor Who team in general are so inclusive and are so supportive of helping people, improving diversity in front of and behind the camera. So it was. So I think it was just being in the right place at the right time as well, and a bit of luck.
Gotcha there. Melanie, you had a question?
Yeah. So I have a question. I did study films and TV production in the University of Puerto Rico, and I feel like it's a journey to kind of find that calling, because I love movies and I love TV, and I love everything that has to do with entertainment. So when was that calling started for you? What did you started like saying, okay, I want to be a producer right off the bat, or a writer, or was it a journey for you to kind of discover yourself, or what was your calling?
And if you don't mind, let me add a part two to Melina. I'm sorry, I know it's your question, Melina. Just what also involved you going into the visual effects aspect of things there? So yes, let me go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, Christian, that's a good addition as well, and a great question. You won't be able to tell on the screen, but I am actually really old. And
what is old? Shut up.
Stop now. And so my career path, if you can call it a path, has been somewhat unusual. And I think that nowadays, with opportunities for college, with job placements, with work experience, with universities, and with all the opportunities open, I'm hoping that it's a lot easier for people to find their paths. So one thing I'll say is that never stress if you don't know exactly what you want to do, because you'll know when you know. So when I left school, I'm from an era and a background where further education was for posh people, and we certainly weren't posh. So I spent the first 10 years of my working life in uniform. I was in the forces, in the army, but I've always been able to draw. That thing about telling a story in one frame. So that was my creative escape, as you were. I'll try and keep this really, really brief, but when I left the forces, I was fortunate to get a job. In the UK, we had only 4 television channels. One of them was breakfast television channel, TVAM. I got a job there. I spent in facilities. I spent all my free time in the graphics department, learning how to use the kit, and then had an opportunity to move to get extra training, get extra support. I went to Middlesex University to learn how to use the kit properly. And from television graphics, moved across into, because I could draw a bit, I moved across into animation. And then from animation, I went to Bristol University and studied Maya animation, and then into visual effects. Producing, it's just it's just a continuation. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the right thing to do, but my career has always been try something. If you don't like it, give it up and try something else. And so I think I've just found that producing is by far my favorite job, without a shadow of a doubt. So I got there eventually, but it took a while.
Let me go ahead and pull up some chats out here. First of all, Dan is saying get well soon. I want to welcome Jeremy W. Dutcher. Greetings all and good evening. Welcome, Jeremy. Thank you for, I think I saw you in the last episode, so thank you for coming back out here. Thank you, Melina. Thank you, your sponsor. Thank your sponsors. The check's in the mail. I hope so. I hope so at this point. Oh, Tom even goes further. For you, Pete, thank you for your service, sir. Yes, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your services out there. Andrew comes up, Andrew Morris. He says, thanks, Pete. Did you work up on the upcoming Jodie episode? So there's only 2 left. One is the Sea Devils. The other one is her big finale. Where, are you still working on her? Have you worked on the next 2 episodes coming up, or?
No. I'm now working on another excellent BBC hospital drama show called Casualty here in the UK, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I've gone from one doctor to lots of doctors and paramedics. No, I don't, and I'm glad I didn't. I stayed away because I want to enjoy them as a fan and see them with fresh eyes and be excited and go ooh and ah in the right places.
What was the one moment that said, this is my life, this is my job, when you came into it? Because I'm trying to convey. I remember when I watched a show in my high school called Bye Bye Birdie. And for whatever stupid reason, I decided I wanted to be an actor. That lasted about 4 years, and then I graduated high school, and that was the end of it. What was the moment that you said, this is going to be, what was the defining moment in your career that you said, I can do this for as long as it'll ride me?
There have been a couple, I have to say, and I think my first visit with on Series 11, the beginning of Series 11, my first visit to Rotherlock in Cardiff, where our studios were based. I walked into the studio, had a quick tour of the studio from lovely Nikki Wilson, and Mike Bell, my VFX supervisor, and myself walked into a mass of Daleks. And we just looked at each other like 7-year-olds, like, this is just, we're surrounded by Daleks. I don't know whether to be really thrilled or really scared. And then within a couple of hours, we were sat in a significantly large meeting room with all the what would become our friends. Ray Holman, head of costume, and his team, and Claire and the hair and makeup team, and the art department, and they were all there. And Chris came in. I can't tell you, it was his first meeting for the first episode for the first series, and I just sat there thinking, I actually can't believe I'm sat in this room and this is now my job. So possibly that one, I think.
Okay. We just have a statement. There's a question from Mark Robinson. He says, Pete, where were you based in armed services? As I am from Colchester.
Oh, Mark, that is a great question. I actually served with the Royal Military Police, and Colchester holds significance for Royal Military Police officers. I unfortunately, or fortunately, never had to go there. I served in a number of locations, but not in Colchester. But I know of Colchester, and it's a lovely, lovely city.
We're going to be going to a commercial break. Let me just run to a few chats. Jeremy says, usually catch replays trying to watch live. Jeremy, whenever you can watch it, it's really appreciated. I just love watching Dave trying to go in and out because his Wi-Fi is going a little wonky from his convention area out there. Dave is it's not there anymore. So, okay, well, Pete, we're going to go to commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue our discussions. And please, if you want to go in the chats out here, please, by all means.
It's a curse.
Well, we're going to commercial break, and hopefully Pete will be back when we return. Please stay locked on, tuned in. And there we go.
Sorry, I pressed the button.
It's okay. I think Dave has the same thing going. You know what? We're just going to hold everybody there. Let me just flop. When we return, let me go to the commercial break. When we return,
This is Cosplay Michael with the Hanging Out Club Show. I want to tell you about my friends at Embellis Effects in Orlando, Florida. They've got makeup, costumes, and props for all of your costume needs. And the team at Embellis Effects is helpful and friendly. Embellis Effects is one of my favorite places, and I know it will be yours too. I'll see you there. Or go to embelliseffects.com. And remember, cosplay is for everyone.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
And Crystal actually has a new episode of Doctor Who Velocity. Check it out and tell them the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. And she's, I think, 1 year up on Jodie's being the first kind of female doctor out there. She got to be Doctor Who Velocity, and she actually had a companion come on the show, Sophie Aldred, who played Ace. So she was out there. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Dave is having some technical issues over from his convention, but we'll try to get him back on as soon as can. But we want to welcome our friend, Pete Levy, who is producer and visual effects producer for Doctor Who in Jodie's time. What would you consider, just out of curiosity, what was your favorite episode to work on in Doctor Who? What would be the one that you said, hey, out of all the episodes that I worked on Jodie's, this is the episode I want to show everybody that I did my work with?
Well, I don't know. I couldn't pick my favorite one that I worked on as a producer.
Picking your favorite Child of 31, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Pating. I sort of, with those on which I was visual effects producer, I would I would go by what we created. So forgive me, I haven't got the names of the episodes right, but Pating was one of my favorites. I think it was just such a beautiful creature and a malevolent, smiling cherub.
I call him Mackenzie, or if you can find me the episode, it's the something conundrum, and I can't think of the and it's the spelling is TS. The conundrum. If anybody knows it, throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat for us, please. I appreciate it out there. Andrew Boris has a question. Has Pete worked with one of the Ackland Snows, as they are all over the film and TV industry? I don't know who the Ackland Snows are.
There was one of our floor managers at TVAM was a lady called Vivian Ackland Snow. But I'm talking 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Mackenzie found it. Yes, the conundrum. It's Saranga conundrum, right? It's a Saranga conundrum with the Pating.
Saranga conundrum.
I'm sorry. He still looks like Stitch to me. He just looks like he looks like Stitch that was washed in high heat. I'm sorry.
In fact, does anyone? I don't know. I'm assuming you guys have got it over there. There's the football show with the American coach that comes and coaches Ted Lasso.
Oh, I don't watch that series.
Okay.
Ted Lasso, the series?
Yes,
Ted Lasso, the series, and I can't.
Wow.
So Brett, one of the characters on that who plays the captain of the football team was in the Saranga conundrum.
Right. Yeah,
a little bit of trivia.
I wasn't going to say I'm butchering it probably tonight there, but yeah, there it is. The Saranga conundrum. I'm just like, okay. But that's just me there.
And it's interesting you meant that you like Pating because there's talking about Doctor Who Fortnite. I actually came across K9 and Pating. I'm like, oh, it's a Pating. What's it doing next to K9?
Yeah, I think Tom's right. The T is silent.
Yes.
Saranga conundrum. Yes.
So we're just going to call you Cossack. No, it's okay. It's okay, Tom. It's your birthday. That's fine. Pete, I noticed something. You were also for the first episode. I'm curious about this because there was something going on while we were for the Halloween Apocalypse. I've never seen this title before, but I can understand where the title comes from. You were the COVID manager. And here in the state, and how was it different going into production doing the Halloween Apocalypse, being now the COVID manager? What responsibilities did you have, and what differences did you have to endure when you were working on the set?
Yeah, that was obviously that was the most significant part of all of us getting back together. We separated at the end of series 12. Everyone was super keen to come back on 13, but obviously the pandemic struck. I was coming back for episode 3, so that meant that I wasn't prepared to join that. I wasn't ready to join the team straight away. Mm-hmm. So we knew that we needed to get up and running with regards to COVID. There were government guidelines and protocols. There were BBC guidelines and protocols. There were common sense guidelines and protocols, and we had to try and work our way around that. The most important instruction to me from the exec team was that we need everybody not just to be safe, but to feel safe.
Right.
So there's so much goes into. You'll know this. So much goes into producing a television show like Doctor Who. So it's what testing regime do we put in place? What do we do with studios? How do we put sets together? Costumes, makeup, all of those things. We've got cast and crew who've got young children, who've got elderly relatives, who maybe share houses with people who've got other sort of medical conditions. So all of those things. And I have to say My BBC colleagues were absolutely brilliant. So we knew that shows like Call the Midwife, Silent Witness were already up and running. So my opposite numbers on those shows were really happy to jump on a call and say, okay, Pete, this is what we're doing. We've tried this and it's not working. So we're doing something else. We are a real, I know it's a cliche, but it's genuine. We're a real family unit. We've worked together for years. And we just wanted to get back to work. We wanted to hug each other and say hi, as families do. We couldn't do that, wearing masks and getting used to that. But there were tears when everyone was back on set and felt safe and secure to know that we were all looking out for each other. Guys, it was a scary time. So it was, and I think what was really important, the weight of responsibility on everyone was, we need some escapism right now because the world has suddenly changed. So we need to believe that the doctor's real. The doctor can take us out of this nightmare scenario, and that was the responsibility felt across the whole team.
Did anybody unfortunately get COVID while you were doing that, and what did you do to make sure that everything could go smoothly, or did you manage to get through it without anything happening?
Not that I'm aware. But bearing in mind, I only did after that. I only did 3, 5, and 6. So so there were no. I mean, everyone was so super careful. I mean, whether there were cases, I didn't have them on my radar.
Not on your watch.
Not on my watch, sir.
Pete's going like, Melina, what was your question for Pete, though?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned about the feeling like family, because when I would do like short films and TV commercial projects, I always felt like family with my how do you say, colleagues?
Yeah.
So like, how did they make you feel welcome, in their little, Whovian family? Because this is a TV show that is 60 plus years has been on air. So did you feel nervous? Did you feel like, like this pressure? And did they help you with that nervousness? How did they make you feel like you're part of the Whovian family?
Great question. I don't think I ever felt nervous as such, because I was confident that I knew what I was doing, and I started at the same time as everyone else. With Chris, with Jodie, with everyone, we all started at the same time. But actually, I think what I can apply your question to is, how do they make other people feel that join later on? So as Celine, my lovely friend Az, who was director on 3, 5, and 6, it's from the top, I have to say. Jodie is such a lovely, inclusive individual that everyone who comes on sets, it's following her lead with regards to how we interact with each other. And I think if something ever goes wrong, as it does in any place of work, someone spills a cup of tea outside or whatever it is, there's never a situation whereby, oh, that was your fault, you're to blame for that. It's okay. How do we put this right? And I think that it was that approach. And I think that everyone just wanted to pull together, but just to look after everybody. And the other really important thing for me was, and again, Jodie Mandip lead this, is there's not one single important person. There's not one person who's more important than anyone else. Jodie would say, if you asked you, okay, is that happening for everybody? It's got to be a level playing field. Runners, cleaners, our set medic, our costume, to Jodie. Everyone's the same. You take one of those people out of that equation, and there's somebody not doing the job. And it's as I say, it's always led from the cast and from Chris, Matt, and Nikki as well on that. So I think that's what makes that whole family. Our parents looked after us.
Thank you.
It's a different kind of camaraderie because, well, first of all, we'll never make it in Hollywood in the States that way. But it's just you know, I hear that a lot, and it's not just on the set of Doctor Who. I hear that everybody who talks about working in a production, the word that gets tossed around like is family. And they all look after each other, and it doesn't matter if you are playing the doctor or if you're the person who's cleaning up afterwards or striking the set or doing the visual effects. Everybody has a role in something, and everybody feels that they are encouraged and important and are intricate as much as Jodie is or anybody who's starring in that show. So it's nice to hear.
Even in small projects, I'm so sorry, Christian. Even in small projects, like I said, doing short films and did some like TV commercials. Like they're projects, obviously student like projects, and we will film like till from the start of early in the morning till 4 a.m. and it really did felt like a family. And when I did I don't know how you say this, the practice in one of the local channels here, it was, everybody was important. There was nothing less, no one was less or more important. Everybody had a function. Everybody had a important role. Nothing was less or more, right? So it was a nice kind of family like environment. It makes you feel very welcomed there. So it doesn't matter how big or small you're working on the project, it's all an effort. It's all a team effort or family effort.
Yeah, and do you know what it is as well? Is we're all telling a story. Everyone involved in the production, in UK TV production, and hopefully it's the same elsewhere. We all want to tell a story, and to tell that story, we need an audience. So it's really important. The first thing we do is engage with our audience, and then we can tell. Then we've got an audience to tell that story, and it is lovely. And I think as Whovians, we are really blessed, because whenever we've gone out on location, within 10 minutes, you look at the crowds that come and wave and say hello, and a really engaging, lovely group of people. And you go, do you know what? That's our family. They're supporting us, and it makes you want to do an even better job.
Exactly there. I got one more. Let me pull up one more comment, and this is just to reiterate what you're saying. Then we'll go to our final break there. Andrew Morris, I said, I only hear good things about the cast and crew under Chibnall's watch. John Bishop talked about how supportive it was on his podcast. Are there any behind the scenes stuff that you want to tell us?
funny moments.
Something we should know about.
It's really bizarre, isn't it? But I think the thing is once you walk onto the TARDIS, I've seen, stars like, the caliber of our guest stars, the caliber of John Bishop, Barbara Flynn, Kevin McNally, Sam Sproul, Rashenda, all of those people walk onto the TARDIS, and it's like, and we are like, it's like, it's a real place. It's been, as you said, Mackenzie, it's been around for 60 years. We know what the TARDIS is like, and I think the TARDIS and Doctor Who is a real leveler, and I think everyone wants to do well. I genuinely have nothing. There was never any. Oh, Az gave me a dirty look once when I got him a tea instead of a coffee, but that's an ongoing battle. I don't want to open that can of worms.
That's right. Speaking of can of worms, bad segue. We're going to return. We're going to wrap up our talk with Shut Up. When we return, we're going to wrap up our discussion with Pete, and we have a special surprise for everybody going into our after party. We may be saying goodbye to it, but you'll see. Don't worry, because there might be something good coming after. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
The massive audio Doctor Who Bad Wolf Bluetooth TARDIS speaker. That's all I gotta say, one word. Wow. It looks like it just jumped right off the screen. Here it is in all its Bad Wolf glory. Right here is the on-off switch and the up and down volume. Right here's the speaker. The TARDIS stands about 6 inches from the bottom of the TARDIS all the way up to the top where the light is. Look at the detail. Wow.
Want to give some special birthday shout outs to someone in the Whoniverse and someone in the world of Trek. We want to give just recently, a couple days ago, Martha Jones herself. I'm going to butcher this, and I apologize. Freema Agyeman. Did I get that right? Freema Agyeman, better known as Martha Jones. She has a birthday coming up, and she already had her birthday. And William Shatner from Star Trek. How old is? No, let me check. Hang on a second. I really need to know. How old is William Shatner nowadays? I think he's 80-something. He is... No, I'm so... 91.
91.
Holy cow, he is 91 years old, and I don't think he's even going to stop. He just keeps going. Yeah, exactly, Tom. Wow. Mark, that's going to be up to Pete. We do have a surprise announcement, but that's up to Pete if he wants to stay. But if you want to ask your question, go ahead and do that. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Jeremy. 91. Oh my God. I know. Shush, Tom. When I get off work, I really am just not up to speed. I try my best. Trust me. And Melanie and I here doing the chats. I'm like. And as you remember, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. May 19th will be the 10th year the Traveling TARDIS has traveled. So we are now doing our Traveling TARDIS pictures of the day. This one has been very popular around the Whoniverse. So let me get the comment out of there. There we go. And everybody who sees that, it says they read it in their voices out there. Plus, the Traveling TARDIS has taken advantage of SeaWorld. I love that picture. That was just the right angle. And notably about this, Pete, if you've ever been to SeaWorld, there are these pearl divers where you can see in the glass aquarium, you can see them dive for your pearls down there. And
right.
I don't know how I did it, but I convinced one of them to take the Traveling TARDIS down into the water. And one little problem, when it came back up, the bottom fell out. Because it collected with all that water. So luckily we were able to collect the bottom part, but the bottom part stays hidden because it's being signed by all the doctors. I'm hoping to get every single doctor around because I want them to kind of possess the TARDIS. And everybody's been loving these pictures from Back to the Future. This was one that this is one that I asked them to do, just like have a fight over the TARDIS. But this is the one they came up with. It was actually the guy who was Biff Tannen. He grabbed the TARDIS and go, "No, I got a better idea." And he did that.
That's great. I love
yeah, exactly. I was just like, that's awesome.
Amazing.
That's cool.
So this TARDIS has been around and has been around for almost 10 years. And we are going to be celebrating, just letting folks know, This May 19th is the first day of MegaCon, and I've been talking to the Hanging With team. We are going to have a special live floor event from MegaCon in honor of 10 years of the Traveling TARDIS as it turns 10 years old. We are here with Pete Levy from Doctor who is the producer and visual effects producer for Jodie Whittaker's run, including 3 episodes of The Flux. And my brain just ran out.
Christian, can I just say, well done, Mark, for noticing the 4-in-1 pen.
Okay, where is he? I did see that.
I've literally just discovered this. It's a new 4-in-1 pen. Instead of the green color, it's got a pencil.
Oh.
I know, right?
What?
That's fancy. That's fancy.
Do they still make pencils?
Artist, drafter, all sorts of people need pencils. Come on.
We need to have a special for cats who approach our. Yeah, this is another thing, Pete. For whatever reason, Melanie's not here.
One of them is going to do it today.
Yeah, we have cats that randomly just show up for no apparent reason.
Nice.
Oh, I put mine outside. Outside my room. I feel bad because he's scratching the door, and I was like, no, because he's about to interrupt my stream.
We're just going to have one episode. We're just going to have cats going through. Yeah, we're just going to have our cats running through all over the place. Mackenzie, I know you had a question for, and I know who. Wait a minute, because I know Mark said he wanted to stay. Mark, if you have any questions for Pete, jump on in here, please, by all means. Andrew Moore says a pencil. The world will never be the same.
I know. It's crazy.
Oh, okay.
We live in happy times.
Yes, we do have a question from Andrew. What advice would Pete give to someone wanting to work on TV and film? Stay far away from it as humanly possible.
I love it. I would say never give up. Watch lots of television. Connect with all of us on social media. I'm talking Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I know there's a lot of us are really keen to. We all want to be selfish and find the new talent. So there's lots of initiatives. So just keep looking out for those initiatives. Be prepared to roll your sleeves up. Make tea and coffee. Help lug kit about, and that's just the director's job. So, never give up and just keep being a fan of the genre and stay as up to date as you can with regards to what's going on.
Never give up, never surrender.
Let me tell you, this person has got this amazing television script they're working on. It's going to be the next big thing, and that's all right. Like, it's going to be amazing, isn't that right?
What's that? Nudge, wink, wink.
The person actually next to me is looking at me like I'm absolutely insane.
Somehow, some way, this will become reality. Yes, it will. That's why I made a picture of it, so I can always think of it.
Never give up. Never give up.
Tom is chastising me because I get the name. In fact, we had two episodes before you, Pete. We had Sophia Miles, and it took me a while because I've always referred to her as Sophia, and she's actually she said that a lot. She mentioned to me, no, it's Sophia, and I said I'll try. So the whole episode I got it right, and then after she left. We kept going to the episode and then right back to Sophia. So I just I can't win.
It's Sophia, the girl in the fire.
Yeah, there's a go. It's just Sophia. She's on fire. That's how we put it out there.
Nice.
Mackenzie is pushing me to write again. Yeah, Tom, I'm pushing you to write again out there. Pete,
I will compel you with Myrta's magic wand to make you write again.
There you go. Mark asks, Pete, has X Red Cap what your view about UNIT and ICMG in Doctor Who, as I feel Chibnall doesn't like them. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so the connection is as Royal Military Police are caps are red. It always made me feel slightly uncomfortable if I was UNIT caps as well. But I wished Gemma Redgrave was our Colonel in Chief. That would have been fabulous. No idea. Seriously though, I think Chris is a big fan of he knows everything. He's got an encyclopedic knowledge of 60 years of Doctor Who, and I think he is really, my interpretation was that he really gets UNIT and really wants to go to the. Do you remember that the episode when we go back to the start of UNIT with the Grand Serpent?
Yes.
You know, and you hear the guy shouting in the corridor, and you go, "Oh, we know who that is." I mean, you know, and I think Chris's love for all of those elements, it's just little tiny things that just, you know, that he just gives little nods to. And I have to say, Charlie Brooker on Black Mirror was exactly the same. It's that attention to detail for them, therefore for us.
Got it there. And we'll just wrap up our current episode before we go into the supposed laughter party. Thanks, Pete. Wise words. Living in the UK, I had a neighbor who built sets for the Beeb and friends who worked making props at Shepperton Studios. It can be done. Pete, I know you got to run, or if you'd like, you can stay a little longer. It's up to you. I know you need your sleep, but did you have any final words for our audience before you head out?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I can't.
You're fine.
It's 11 p.m. I'm shooting first thing tomorrow morning, and I clearly need years of beauty sleep. It's been an absolute blast finally getting to meet you guys. It's good to know that we're still all out there. Continue to be, you know, continue to agree, continue to disagree, do it in a nice way, because that's what makes us fans of the show. And I can't wait, not just to hear your reaction as we come to the end of Jodie's tenure, but I can't wait for myself, because I'm genuinely really excited. Chris is going to go out. Surely Chris is, I mean, he's done great things so far. I can't wait to see what he's got in store for us.
All right.
Thank you,
well,
Andrew.
Everybody's saying thanks
guys.
to you there, Pete. I appreciate your time. Have a great night. For those of you who are listening to the audio, we're going to be cutting it off and going into our after party, which we're not calling an after party, and I'll explain why. But hey, thank you so much for coming, and
My
you
pleasure.
have a great
Thanks.
night. Can't wait to have you on again. All right, folks. Let's go into the supposed after party. Okay. We're doing something a little different. We're doing something a little different, everybody, and I'll explain why. It's been a while since we did the Who Knew News. And normally we try to do the Who Knew News in real time when the events happen. And as soon as something drops, none of us are available. None of us were at work or doing something. So for right now, we're going to try. It will still be separate. There'll still be the Who Knew News in its own category if you just want to watch the news segments that pop up. But as we go out, we may bring the after party back if we have things where, you know, Pete could stay and you had additional questions. You're more than welcome to ask. But tonight we're going to test out the Who Knew News. So without further ado, folks, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Who Knew News.
So before we get started, sorry, Kristen, I just want to say goodbye. I do need to get back to my booth. Thank you guys for putting up with my blinking in and out and all of that. But everyone, please enjoy the Who Knew News, and I will see you guys sometime in the next week or two, depending on how the universe is.
Got it. Stay safe out there, Dave. Have some fun. You lucky.
This is what's next to me, so I will have something that's slightly more than tea.
What was that? I just saw potato.
Potato tea?
It's
potato vodka.
Also out of Ontario, so nice and Canadian as well. So I will see you guys later. Have a good night, Paul.
Get out of here. So let's put up the banner. Let me see here. We're going to change that on the banner. It's been a long time since we did the Who Knew News out there, but for those of you who have been asking, We are trying to bring it back. We're trying to see if we can do it in real time. Like I said, it's been a couple of months, and I apologize for anybody who's been waiting for us to do the news segment, and we just couldn't get around to it, but we are now. Hang on one second, because I'm putting everything together as we speak. Talk amongst yourselves out there. But here we go. Let's put on the new background. Boom! There it is out there. Welcome everyone to the Who Knew. Now, if you're not familiar with the Who Knew News, we do have a segment where we'll be going live anytime that real news, Doctor Who news drops in real time. We'll have a discussion. Today's news today, everybody's heard it. It's rumor. I don't like talking about rumor, and I'll explain why in just a second. But everybody's been talking about, Hugh Grant in talks to take over from Jodie Whittaker. Now, the funny part about this whole thing is that on the same day that this article came out that he was in talks, this article came in talks. This article came out. Hold on, let's see if it loads up. I don't know if I can load it up during. Okay, stop sharing. Oh, yeah, I'm frozen. There we go. I was frozen for a second there. There we go. Okay. And I'm gonna wait. Are we all waiting on me? Just afterwards.
Afterwards, he did.
He dismisses the reports that he was going to be the next Doctor. The reason why I just think it's funny is that there it is. Grant dismisses the reports practically on the same day that he was doing this. So there we go. I was just looking at something. Ladies, what do you think? Seriously, and anybody in the chats right now about it.
Hugh Grant. He's no K actor for me. I didn't like him in the 90s. I mean, I think he could pull off the Doctor because he did do that parody that Stephen Moffat did back whenever that was. And he had, the ironic thing of this is Russell T did actually go to him. He wanted him to play 9 before Chris Eccleston. So Chris Eccleston was not the first choice. It was actually Hugh Grant. He decided he did not want the part. And then he was like, you know what? I kind of really regret that I turned that down. So maybe he could have that opportunity. I
think this is just. I'm going to be honest.
I love Capaldi, and I thought Capaldi did perfect. And I don't think anybody can be necessarily too old. From going from Jodie back up to somebody like Hugh Grant in that age, I just don't. For me, it doesn't work. I don't think that's going to work.
Oh, you want me to read this, Mark? It's 11 o'clock. Good night. I'm Christian Basil on the Who Knew News tonight. There you go. Thank you, Mark. I mean, his name has always come up when the new Doctors come up, and I was thinking maybe back when he was on, Curse of Fatal Death, he might do it, but he's already and Melina, I'm thinking he's Hollywood money.
Yeah.
He's had it. Once you get into Marvel money or DC money or even, Hollywood money, you're not going to go back and do. Unless you are just like, things are not working out like they did back in the late 80s where, people who weren't getting any work or anything of that nature were going to Doctor Who to try to kind of reboot their career. Mm-hmm. But it's going to, Tom's right. It was in the mirror and it led to the Yahoo News. The thing was, they just couldn't let it go.
Uh-huh.
It was like everything. It was like Christian. I had people coming up, Christian. Yeah, it's gonna be like, no, it's clickbait. It's clickbait.
It's. I think it's milking. It's just the news media milking it. Just for me, it's just for money. And I've been saying it from the beginning. It's like this smells like rumors, just like the Ollie Alexander rumor. It's just rumor, and to me, it feels like they just want to throw out any name. They go to a random, I don't know, forum or someplace, and somebody will throw out a name and say, let's just use this. And then for other news like Yahoo News or what's it called, the Daily Mail, the Guardian, whatever. They just kind of milk that information just for views, just for clickbait, just for money, and then it turns out to be not true.
But you see, the one thing that kind of this particular time that Hugh Grant was mentioned, you know, it was like, it'll be a day in burn in hell. But I would also say that it would be a day in hell that Russell T Davies would have come back and produced the show, and here we are. I'm like,
right. Because
so for one moment, I was like,
true,
it might just happen.
I just see him more. I don't know. It's not like I don't see him as a doctor, but I just see him more as playing the master, perhaps.
Really? You see him?
Yeah, I do.
Or what Andrew said.
I think Hugh Grant, what made him popular in Hollywood, and by the way, parentheses on this, me personally, I don't want a well-known Hollywood actor, and what I mean by that is outside the UK, like Tom Holland or Hugh Grant. You know what I'm like, the ones that just are very well known outside the UK. So I think Hugh Grant, it has this charm. That's what I think that made him popular in the 90s. There's a certain charm about him, and I see him as something like the movie. What's it called? The Diary. What was her name? Bridget Jones' Diary.
Yeah,
I see him kind of like playing that role, kind of like scummy-ish, charming kind of guy, but as the master. That's the way I see it. I think it makes more sense.
Okay. I mean, I just see him too, like, of a boyish charm to hit the master. I mean, he does have that scummy role, but I don't think his strength is in that kind of role. He's always like the rom-com interest, the love interest, to throw him over to the master. You know, like Tom said, Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh, you really think so, Andrew? He may be a guest on the show. Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, once they hit Hollywood money, I don't think this podcast is going to be seeing out there. I'd rather have Hugh Laurie than Grant. Yeah, there's some case on that. Yeah,
he played a doctor already.
He played Dr. House, but
exactly
a lot of people, and I call this the Hugh Laurie effect. You'll hear this in the other podcast. When people first saw Hugh Laurie as House, nobody knew what his IMDb resume looked like. It was like off the charts. House put him on the map, but he was always somebody in the background, like Stuart Little. He was the father in Stuart Little. He was the engineer, the pilot in Flight.
He was in the 101 Dalmatians.
He was in one, but he's never like the leading guy. He's always like that extra. This is the first time that he pulled off the leading guy, and everybody's going like, "Oh, you know, he's such a great actor and everything." I said, I've known him since Black Adder. When he was and nobody even knew he was British, that he had an accent. Everybody thought he was American and said, "Hurrah, Blackadder, I remember that time." You know, those things are just like, you know, but I just can't. Yeah, he's clickbait for people. That's it. In the UK, the new Doctor and new Bond are tabloid thought. Yeah, exactly. And we did an episode where we had our predictions or who we would like to take on the role. But this is why I even don't like doing rumors, because everybody wants to talk about it, and everybody wants to talk about it, but it just doesn't work for me out there. Hugh Laurie, perfect. He has comedy from Blackadder, and there you go. And House of Darkness of House. The Darkness of House. I got you. So to me, I don't know. Would there be? You two mentioned that there wouldn't be a celebrity. And if anybody wants to put in the chat, do you think there's somebody in Hollywood, if they had the opportunity, do you think would step down to take a role? Because you said like Tom Holland. Tom's too young, and he's too connected to the Spider-Man thing. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
What's his name? Tom Hiddleston? Is that the name? The from Thor? I mean, I love Hiddleston.
Yeah, everybody wanted Loki to be it.
But I mean, this is a personal preference, just a personal preference. I just don't rather have it be like a very Hollywood-esque known actor. if by any chance, actually, something that this hasn't been discussed enough personally, he's really well known in the UK, but also outside the UK a little bit. He hasn't really been Hollywood, but actually, one movie. What's his name? Richard Ayoade. If I'm not pronouncing his last name, I apologize. He was in the
Yeah.
IT crowd.
Yes.
I always found it to be so perfect to play the Doctor. If I'm not mistaken, I think didn't he try for the role or something?
He's one of those top 10 names like Hugh Grant and Hugh Laurie. Those are always the names that keep cycling up. Plus, who was Cumberbatch? Benedict Cumberbatch is always tossed up in there. But I said once they've gotten the kiss from Hollywood money, I doubt they're coming back out there.
Yeah.
And Capaldi was just a rare exception because he was famous in the thick of it. And I haven't seen the series in its entirety. I saw the series because somebody mentioned they made a thick of it movie, and there is a scene with
in the loop,
and there's a scene between him
and James Gandolfini.
And James Gandolfini, I'm like, holy cow! If you really want to see I'm just waiting for James to grab him by his neck and do something.
It was such a great.
It was just a classic scene that they were just
great scene. It's so. I'm sorry, I'm a little fangirl because I'm a big James Gandolfini fan, and God rest his soul. That scene was so amazing because we're talking about Tony Soprano versus Malcolm Tucker.
Versus the 12th Doctor now.
Or the 12th Doctor. And
have you seen the movie yet, Mackenzie?
Nope, I have not.
No, I mean, you could probably find it on YouTube. Just type in Peter Capaldi, James Gandolfini, watch those two just go after it. I'm like, oh my God. It's just really nasty.
Yes,
so,
it's
as good as it sounds.
It's a slight spin-off of The Thick of It because it was in hiatus between series, I think 3 and 4, something like that. And so they made that movie, and that was probably one of the few Hollywood movies that they did. But that's what I mean with Richard Ayoade, and I apologize again if I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
I think that's
but he was in I think it was in the Neighborhood Watch, something like that, with Ben Stiller. Do you remember that movie? It was like he played like an alien. It was on theaters here, and
I've heard of the movie, but I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah,
it was Richard Ayoade was there.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah, and I don't mind, but like I said, actors like Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield. Those are the kind of actors I love, but I just don't want them to play as the Doctor because I don't want it to be like a very well-known actor. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, that's fine. It took.
Yeah.
I still remember Andrew Garfield when they were like, he's Spider-Man. Like, he was in Doctor Who for a very short time. He's the guy that was converted into a pig. And I'm just like, I remember that. So every time I see Andrew Garfield, and I haven't seen the new Spider-Man, but I've seen little clips it's on YouTube. I do want to see the entire movie, but I remember you being a pig. Yeah, Andrew was in Daleks Take Manhattan. Yep, that is correct out there. We won't see another Sherlock series because of exactly, Tom, because once they get the taste, they're gone. They're gone. In fact, I when Peter took on the Suicide Squad, I was really questioning whether he would even do Big Finish. I'm like, he's gone. I meant Karen Gillan, she's gone. She's in Hollywood. That's going to be it. Matt Smith, he's gone. I will be so happy if they do Big Finish, but I don't think they're not going to have time. They're already in the stratosphere. They're gone. So American actor who could play the Doctor, James Marsters. What do you think? I don't know. Is he American? I thought he was. No, he's not British. He was playing British.
He's Master. Remind me who he is.
Is that Spike? Is that Marsters? Marsters? Or is that Masters?
Oh,
just clarify with it, Mark.
The name is not coming to me. I know for me is
Google.
I like to hide away or avoid the type of American actors simply because at least at BBC, now maybe it'll be a little bit different with Bad Wolf, but at least with BBC, they were very, I don't want to say anti-American, but it's just like we don't have. American actor being, even if he could do the greatest British accent, to actually be the Doctor. It just seems to be like almost like a taboo. Same way, because if you look back when, I think this was during RTD's time, where there was actually an American writer who applied to want to be on Doctor Who, and they're like, no way, you're American. So
that's what, especially now that there was a bit of a taste of it in Vancouver for that one TV movie. So, I mean, it did get stretched out a little bit out there, but I don't want to say never, but I do think the Doctor should be British.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a British feel. I think anything else outside of it, I mean, I do believe in a little diversity, but I don't know why the Doctor should be somewhere from the United Kingdom to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get some actor who can pull it off, pretty darn well and convince me,
But yeah, I agree with you, Christian. I do, and I just remember, James Marsters. I can't say his name. He was.
I think it's Marsters. I think, but the guy who played Spike in
Buffy.
In Buffy, he was also Captain John in Torchwood.
He also played a role, if anybody got to see that movie, called Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, okay.
He played Piccolo. He played Piccolo. Sorry, I'm laughing.
No, that's fine. Let me go ahead and bring up our next topic to a black screen. I don't know why it's that way, but Doctor Who comes to Fortnite. So, ladies, I don't play gaming. I don't know anything about this. So, Mackenzie and Melina, if you want to take over, go for it.
If that trailer could play, that would be amazing, because that kind of will give our audience who don't know what Fortnite is at least a kind of an idea of it. But the Fortnite is a game that's been around for a very long time. It is a battle royale. It started off with a game called Save the World, and then it turned into a battle royale where the thing about Fortnite is that you build forts. So if you're somebody who, right now, for example, they have Fortnite for this week only, are doing a non-build. So this means that you, if you're like me and play Fortnite and come against somebody who wants to build a hotel and you haven't even done anything, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to play this game. Now you can actually play the game without feeling like you're going to get overwhelmed. Instead, it's now more of climbing on things and out witnessing or you want to, I'm not thinking the right word here, is you want to outwit your person, you outwit the other person. And so now they have creative, which is, it's a series outside of the game where there is this Doctor Who element in there, right? Mm-hmm. I actually started playing it today, just get an idea of it. You go into a element where you get to collect 4 crystals, and then you get to go in the TARDIS, and you can restore the TARDIS. Actually walk onto there. That looks pretty cool. You can chase the Bating. You can have in Kerblam, you can have a motel battle versus castle battle. You can do that, for me, I just want to go in there just by myself and just like, okay, how do I build? How do I do this? So I don't look like an idiot next time I come across somebody who builds a castle within 1 second. Because I did have that happen to me once. I had a friend of mine who his nephew plays on Fortnite on the phone. And so I said, can you have him go in a battle with me and just build something? I want to see how fast he can do it. And he did. He built a castle within like 2 seconds. And I haven't, on the controller, I hadn't even set it to even build a wall. Like, oh.
Dig. Oh, wow, you built a mansion. I put a hole in the ground.
I wonder if at the bottom, like, okay, you went all the way there. Here's an explosive. Take that.
So comparatively, what is, if you could give it to, I'm an idiot. What is Fortnite in its pure core? What is the objective of Fortnite?
It's a battle royale, so you want to be
one,
and you might be able to build a mansion to get that #1 victory.
It's just basically what it is. So it's battle royale, as Mackenzie said. So
Yeah.
you can have a solo game. You can, I think the maximum is to 4 players. It's more fun playing with friends. It's friends. And so the thing is, like, it basically is, you just build pretty much, and the build is not really the what do you call it? Just to when you're battling against an enemy. So if they're trying to shoot you or they're trying to get rid of you, or eliminate you from the game, you basically just kind of protect yourself doing this wall. It's like that's what it is. Like that's what is Fortnite. You just build. I'm not a builder. Really, I'm not. I just shoot. I just see like I'm like I go full blown Call of Duty when I get in Fortnite. Like I really do, and I barely like build. I do something like that, Bill. If it's too many against me, but basically that's what it is. It's just you have just a simple objective, just collect items. I mean, for you to build, and eliminate your enemy and get to the top. That's basically what it is.
It's a real battle. See, I haven't played a game in a long time, Mackenzie. I still have my original Wii.
Wow.
I know. Yeah.
I still have my
Shut it up there. Shut it.
I do still have my NES, the original NES.
Hey, it still plays. I love my Mario Kart. I still think it's one of the best games in the world because I play it every once in a while and I'm just having a bad day. I go over there, play for like 10 minutes, and it's cathartic. So, but yeah, I found and just in case, I'm on Steam now. I finally got an account.
You got Steam. Wow.
Don't come finding me because I'm barely on the damn thing, but I'm on Steam.
Well, at least you're on it. Mark wants to know what platform we play on, and
which Mark is asking what platform you guys play on PlayStation.
For me, it depends on what it is. In this case, with Fortnite, I started on the PlayStation 4. I am now going to PC, and I want to learn how to do it on mouse and keyboard because I've heard that if you want to build, that's the way to go. So that's what it is. Somehow, some way, I'm going to figure it out.
Is this the game where you fly in the air and then you land in the? Oh, that's the one. Okay, now I've seen my friends play it.
Yeah, the battle bus.
Exactly.
Okay, I watched one of my YouTube friends, Fat Steven Seagal, and he plays that. And the thing is, he goes out and he openly says that he actually plays to yell at his friends because that's what he does.
That's what I do.
They always mess up.
I always yell at them mostly in Spanish because I can't deal with with my friends when I try to tell them to be careful or to don't, or when they start shooting too early. But it's just fun. I think it's addictive, and I call it like a guilty pleasure. Honestly,
no, I could see it. Yeah, I could see it.
Really,
when I
film what I think they're going to do, because if they're doing this creative like this, I think that they're going to eventually they'll bring some skins in from Doctor Who. Now, I don't think they'll bring in Doctor because the Doctor, of course, does not use a gun. So I think outside the Doctor, you won't see a Doctor skin, but maybe we'll see a Cyberman or maybe a Dalek. I could see that happening, or them expanding more on this universe that they've created in creative. That'd be cool.
I think so too. I think at least, for the skin type, I mean, there was Wonder Woman, right? And there was Superman, Batman.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so I mean, technically they used as skins, right? You as a player, you use the gun. So I really don't know how. I don't think it will affect that much if it's a Doctor Who, a Doctor skin. However, but about the skin, I think, like you said, maybe a Cyberman, I think will make more sense. I wouldn't call it Dalek, no, of course not. But a Cyberman will be much better, though. But right, it's
around.
I wouldn't mind buying it. I wouldn't mind doing that. That'd be great. Oh, and the emotes.
Oh yes. And in fact, right now there actually is. If you go in and you play Fortnite and you go into the creative and you get into Fortnite, you actually do get a what do they call them now? It's not a skin, but it's like a spray. It's a spray that will show up.
See,
Yeah, and it actually is of the TARDIS.
I can't English. Spray paint the TARDIS. Yeah, that's how it's. That's like the emo kind. And I bought PS3. Oh yeah, I have a PS3 too. I have the PS1. I have the PS2. I have the PS3. I have the PS4. And I have the PS5.
Oh, lucky duck! I can't find them anywhere around.
I got lucky.
I kind of given up, and I went PC because I'm like, you know what? I can get all the games that I wanted to play, except for the Demon's Souls remake, are all on PC. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll just go PC. Eventually, I'll get a PS5, probably used from GameStop. Eventually, who knows when? And then I'll have to play that Demon's Souls 5 remake, unless it gets ported over to PC, which it could.
I am PISS because I don't even have a gaming. I finally got my computer on Steam, and I'm like, this looks complicated. And
like the PS3, so PlayStation.
You two do not understand gaming until you've had a Commodore 64. Yeah, I'm dating myself way back. That 1200 baud modem. At 3 a.m, and you're basically, it's just the two of you shooting, and we were playing Doom. The original first Doom. And there was no there was no headphones, it's like talking to each other and stuff like that. It was basically like we would do a death match, and you shoot the other guy and you would hear him, and you would die, and then you would get this text message on your computer going, "A-hole." That was our game.
That was
Call of Duty. That's one of the things that, like, for me, I'm terrible at Call of Duty. I mean, I am the Timmy Tender who goes around and I can't shoot the gun in, I don't know why, in Call of Duty, but I'm thinking that's, again, problem because I don't have a PC. Now that I have a PC, I'm going to try again, see if I can. But I am literally the Timmy Tender on Call of Duty. I am mostly a role play person. So Genshin Impact, I mean, that's my game.
I play anything like from Crash Bandicoot, Uncharted, Tomb Raider. I'm a huge fanatic of Tomb Raider. Crash Bandicoot. Oh wait, I said that. Spyro. There are games like Neo or Elden Ring like that. Those are games that really takes me a long time to play, but I don't mind playing them. But the reason why mostly I can play any what do you call game console like Xbox, Nintendo, PC, but the reason why I like the PlayStation is the challenge of getting the platinums. So when you get all the trophies of the game and that satisfying ding when you get the platinums, that I love that. And at first it wasn't my goal to get platinums, but then I was playing with a friend and she had a bunch of platinums. She's like, you need a platinum. I was like, I don't need that. And we started playing Resident Evil.
I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to leave the episode running. You just keep going. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. What are they? Oh, my God. I got to get to work. Let me go on my computer now.
A platinum, Christian
episode ever.
You're asking. It's when you get like how do you say that, Mackenzie? Awards.
There's somebody to play with right there.
A gold trophy. Well, I don't think is it gold actually. Is it gold though?
No, it's a. What do you mean, the platinum?
Yeah.
You get gold trophies, you get silver, and you get the bronze. So the platinum is a what? Platinum.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's not exactly gold, but it's above gold. It's like a gold silver almost like.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's basically for your effort, Christian. Like if you accomplish something in the game, and some of them are.
So they give you a reward, so it has more of a feeling. Like you
The-
just didn't
the
win a
feeling
game
of
that you're actually accomplishing more, so it doesn't feel like, oh, I won a game. That's it. That's I'm done here. No idea. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna end the episode. I'll let these two talk if they want to keep talking.
Doctor Who Worlds Apart. Yes, there was a new pack that came out today.
There is a new pack. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember. Yeah.
And we'll be playing that game. We will. And I'm going to try to fix my OBS because I broke it from going from Mac to PC. But if I do that, I'm going to go and do a live video in Fortnite. And you can all laugh at me because I don't build.
Well, we're Mackenzie is gonna. Hopefully, we will try to figure out a way to get Mackenzie on here to play Fortnite so we can see it. We're put it on the game. Well, okay, we're gonna do a game on session, and we'll see how the Fortnite thing works out. So we'll schedule that later. Plus, whenever we get Worlds Apart up and running, and there's a couple people that had done a demo, and I was like, oh, there's this one game that I saw Markiplier playing. Because I could not figure out what how do these cards work? How does the computer know? I'm like, do I have to memorize every single card? And I was like, oh, there was a game, and I can't remember what Markiplier was playing, but it was similar to that, where you put it on the table and they kind of attack one or something like that. I was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But I saw that he was playing a game similar to that. So there is a YouTube demo, but yeah, as soon as we can get, I was trying to play it and it just wouldn't play for me. It just says it's not up and running yet. So I don't know.
I have a demo that I can download of Worlds Apart. I'll have to play around with it and see if I can get anything to work. Because apparently you're supposed to be able to do something. And if I remember, I was just on their website a couple days ago, and I want to say that I don't remember it's beta, alpha or beta. One of those are coming out really, really soon too.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be the beta, and I downloaded. It says play now. I clicked on that, and you have to download a program to your computer. But every time I say okay, I'm playing, and it's just like, no, you're not. Like, oh, pretty, my cards now they're lying in a row. Just like, it's like now I have a window for my cards to look at. So I'm sure Mort's working on it. I know he's going through a lot because if anybody knows his company, if I'm not mistaken, because I've been tracking him on his Facebook page, his company also is expanded in the Ukraine, and he's taking care of people in that area right now. So
exactly, yeah, he is.
You need PC, not Commodore 64 for World's Park.
Yeah, I will go into my.
Feed that gerbil.
I'll see what I can do too. If I can find that to work more than just get something to work, I will let you know. That way we can put that together. I also have the Doctor Who games that were on PS3 and then they were on PC when during Matt Smith's time. I've got all 5 of those too. I do have that. I've never played them.
Really?
Yeah, I've never played any of them. I've never played them. I've got Lonely Assassins, Edge in Reality, and then so I got plenty of Doctor Who games. I just haven't played any of them.
Last but not least, folks, let me go ahead and put this banner back up. If you haven't subscribed already, do it now. We are closing so close. We are very close to 2,000. We want to hit it by May 19th. Don't forget, Melanie has the bobblehead David Tennant, and if we hit that number, one of you is going to be getting a bobblehead David Tennant. We're going to be announcing the winner as soon as we get there. Plus, our Facebook page. I'm just checking something real fast. Hang on a second. Our Facebook page and our follower count, we are now at, I got to refresh, sorry. 58,300 no, it went up. Yeah, my like numbers going up. This one. Oh, it did go up. Oh, 58,371. We want to get that to 60,000 by May 19th. I think it'd just be a nice little present for our little metal friend. What's that? And we will. We will. But we need your help. Get the name out there. Get everybody tell them to subscribe to us. And if you want to check us out on our Twitch page, on our YouTube channel, on our Twitter feed, by all means, and check out Mackenzie on her Twitch channel because she has gaming. Melina, do you have a Twitch channel?
Actually, I do.
Okay.
It's Melina Vader, pretty much.
Melina Vader. Check out Melina Vader.
YouTube gaming. I'm going to be on YouTube gaming because
Yeah, me too.
there's a lot more there to. Even though I like Twitch, there's just
Yeah,
a lot more
presence.
that you can do on YouTube
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to YouTube gaming as well.
You sent me the worst Doctor Who game ever on Facebook. Okay, now I gotta
Oh
check
boy,
it.
I'm like, which one is this?
You know what? It came out. I wanted to buy it, but it was the Destiny of the Doctors. It's because Anthony Ainley does the intro as the Master, and he goes through all 7. You can find it on YouTube, the intro alone. But I thought it was so cool that he does the intro, and I think the whole idea is that he's controlling a planet that can consume the Doctor and basically wipe him out of existence. I'm not sure how the game works, but it was just so cool that Anthony Ainley is going down each Doctor and he's insulting each one as he's going along. As I say, Anthony Ainley, for crying out there. Folks, we'll have an episode next week, so don't panic. If you liked the after party, if you think we should stick with the after party, by all means, just put it in the chat. If you like the Who Knew News, we'll try to keep it here too. We're going to mix them up a little bit, please. So if we do have news that breaks, we're going to try to get back to the Who Knew News, but we're going to try to see if we don't have to. If we don't have a guest who stays over like Pete wasn't able to, then we might do the Who Knew News or the after party. But we're going to mix it up a little bit so we can have a little variety here. So everybody, from all of us, from Melina, from Mackenzie, I thought I got this right all of a sudden. Thank you for joining us. We will have an episode next week, hopefully an interview. We're still working on this person, and I think you'll be very excited because she might be slightly out of the Whoniverse. But I want somebody who's kind of spacey. I'll leave that out there. I'm hoping she'll be part of the Whoniverse. So, everybody, thank you again. Please stay safe, stay logged on, stay tuned in, and don't forget to do your closing. Everybody puts out their goodbyes, so put your goodbyes in. I'll try to hit them up on the and the outro. So, yes, love everybody.
And he muted himself.
Okay, he muted himself.
I hit the microphone, and that's all it takes. It's a mute button. And of course, always support your Doctor Who indie podcasts out there. The Space Book, TARDIS Zone, the Rabbi. Everybody, please support them out there. Help them get a voice. And thank you so much, everybody. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. I have so many videos I can't find the close. Bye.